knowing this, that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And so we see this outflow of the suffering. So the first thing we see is this, is that suffering leads to endurance. But the term endurance isn't just this ability to endure, just to make it through. Just, you guys, like, any of you in shape in here, you can like run, like, you know, who'd have thunk it? Yeah, there's like 5 of you, right? That's not what he's talking about. Really what he's talking about is this idea of single-mindedness or focus. Any of us lack focus? Yeah, we're all a little bit of teenagers in here, right? Well, I see those faces and we're like, yeah, I lack focus, right? But when we deal with suffering and we deal with pain and we deal with persecution, what we find is this, is that all the little issues of life kind of drift away and we're able to focus on the main thing. And the main thing is God, right? And so when we face suffering, God brings us, hopefully, brings our attention back to Himself. And we're focused on Him as our source of provision, as our source of power, as our source of provision. So suffering leads to endurance, which is focus. It helps us realign our priorities and it removes distractions. And then so Paul goes on and he says that suffering produces endurance, and in verse 4 he says endurance produces character. The term character there is really testedness. It's funny, Kelly and I were talking, for some reason this morning I was getting to relive my glory days, and so we were talking about basketball, and she was like, "Do y'all ever play Texas teams?" I was like, "Yeah, we beat them all. Every last one of them." We did. We only played 2 a year. We beat them. We didn't play big schools though. But it got me thinking about this story as I was thinking about testedness, this ability to, you've been through the fire, you've been through, and you come out on the other side stronger. And I'll just tell you a funny little story. It got me thinking this morning. Years ago, the team that I played on, or that I sat on the bench for, made it to the playoffs. It's pretty funny, right? The first round of the playoffs. And so we were in the school up south of Lafayette called ESA. And we hit, it's the end of the game, and it was a good game. I mean, this gym was packed, it was crazy, it was loud. It was a good game. We were down by 1 point. And one of our guys, he was a freshman at the time, gets fouled. He was a good freshman. He wasn't just like this fluke, he's out on the court. I mean, he was good. And he gets fouled, and it's a 1-and-1. You guys know what that means? If you make the first one, you get another one. But if you miss it, oh well. And so it's 1-and-1, and he steps up. And this kid was like the best free throw shooter that I ever played with. He was good. And so he steps up to the free throw line, and he misses it. There's like a couple seconds left in the game, and we lose. We lose the game, get knocked out of the playoffs. And so the next year we make the playoffs again, and wouldn't you know, we get to go play ESA at ESA again. And wouldn't you know, and I'm not making this up. I mean, I have like people that can back me up on this. I'm not making this up. Same situation, down by 1, Cullivan Stanley gets fouled again at 1-and-1. What does he do this year? Because he had been through the fire the year before, Cullivan Stanley makes both free throws. We win the game, and we make it to the next round of the playoffs. We get beat by 17 points, but that's a whole other story. But he had been through the fire. He had been tested. And he developed this character. He was able to hit the big shot. And in the same way, he had this confidence. See, the first year, yeah, he was just a freshman. He should have been a sophomore, but that's a long story. But anyway, he, because of what he had been through, the next year, he had developed this character, this strength, this confidence. And he knew going into it, I'm going to make this free throw. I'm not just going to make the first one. I'm going to make the second one. And we're going to win this game. We're going to walk out of this gym onto the second round of the playoffs. And what did he do? Because he had that confidence, he nailed both throws. And what we have when we have endured and we have focused on God is that we then have that testedness and that confidence, but not in ourselves and in our ability, but because we know the point of it all. And we're tested and we can lean more wholly, more solidly, more firmly in God and in what God does and what God provides. And so we see that suffering, it produces endurance. Endurance leads to character. And the last thing that character leads to is hope. And see, it's this big circle. We have hope. And so we have this confidence. We're reminded that our God is bigger than and stronger than any of our problems, no matter what we face in life. And so the benefits of justification are that we have peace with God, that we can be in right standing with God. And that gives us the ability to fight sin. We have access to God. We can go to God with our biggest problems. If our marriage is falling apart, we can go to God. If our family is falling apart, if our finances are falling apart, we can go to God. If sin is destroying our life, we can go to God. We can confess it, and He'll deal with it. He'll wipe the slate clean. He'll deal with our sin. He'll transform and change us. And then we see then that we have hope. We have the hope of the glory of God, but we have hope in the face of suffering. And so, ladies and gentlemen, men, women, boys, and girls, we remind ourselves of the gospel every day, every single day, because we need it. Whether you're 5, whether you're 55, whether you're 95, we all need it. Not one of us need it. That's why I read that scripture to you this morning. Paul says that I delivered to you of first importance. The primary thing was the gospel, because we need it. We need to be reminded every single day of what we have in Jesus Christ, and that would cause us to lean into Him. And so as we land this plane this morning, let me ask you that question, the first question. Do you have peace with God? Are you at peace with God? Have you stepped into faith and been justified that He's made you just as if you'd never sinned, but then He's accounted to you the righteousness, the perfection of Jesus Christ? When God looks at you, does He see sin, or does He see the sinless perfection of His Son? And do you have access to God? Are you depending on God? Are you going to God for help as the source of your strength? And do you have the hope of the glory of God in the face of and in spite of the suffering? And the last challenge is simply this: that you would preach the gospel to yourself daily. That apart from Jesus Christ, I'm broken, I'm hopeless, I'm dead. But because of the grace of God, I have access. I have peace. I have hope. We would be reminded of who and whose we are. So if you'd bow your head, close your eyes as our worship leaders come up for a time of invitation. We ask these questions every week because maybe there's someone here that doesn't know Jesus Christ. Maybe we just need to be reminded, because we all have a tendency to forget who we are. So we come to this time of invitation, and the invitation is simply this: is that God is calling you to something. Either God is calling you to repent of sin, God is calling you to deeper dependence on Him, or God's calling you into a relationship. And so I invite you to do business with God this morning, either where you're at or at the altar. No matter what, do business with God. Don't just push Him aside. So I'm going to pray, and then we're going to stand and we're going to sing. And you let God deal with you how He would lead you. Father, we love You and we thank You that we don't have to deal with our sin on our own, because we never could anyway. We don't have to deal with the pains and the struggles and the difficulties and the challenges of life, because we can't do it on our own anyway. God, I pray that we would trust in You. Father, if there's someone here this morning that doesn't have peace with You, as they were thinking about their life, they look at their lives and they don't see the righteousness of You covering them, God, I pray that You would bring them to the point where they would understand the depth of their need for You. They would confess their need for You. They would accept You as their Lord and Savior, Father. God, that You would call them into a relationship with You. God, we pray that You would work in a mighty, powerful way this morning, as only You can. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. As we stand and as we sing, just as I am. we have any offering bearers? If not, we need some incense. There are instructions on the back of the name tag. As we take up the offering, Lori's going to come up and share a testimony about Shoes for Working Souls. So she pray that you would give her your attention.
Let us pray. Dear Father, we thank you for the message this morning, Lord. We sometimes get wrapped up in things in our lives, and Lord, we just forget about the simplicity of the gospel and the things that you have done for us on our behalf that we could never do for ourselves. Lord, we thank you for that. And Lord, just bless this offering as we give back to you what you blessed us with, Lord. Even though we know you own everything that we have, Lord, that we show that we're stewards by honoring you with the portion that you asked us to give back to you, and that we may reach out more to the community and around the world. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, I have a testimony about Buckner Shoes for Orphan Souls. Most of y'all know that we foster through Buckner, so we are firsthand to see where these shoes go. But before we even did that, when we were still in Lubbock, Jay came to me and she said, "Mom, I want to give away 130 pairs of shoes for Christmas." And this was in the summer, and I was like, "We better start praying because that is a lot of shoes and a lot of money." So we started praying about it. It was also the time we were moving down here, or had begun to prepare to move down here. And our house was under contract. We came down here. We rented a house from Carol. We went back. Well, our contract, there's my cute little girl with all her shoes. We came back, and the contract on our house had fallen through. So Carol had actually called that day, and he said, "Well, we're praying for you. Y'all just, keep praying. Everything's going to be good." Well, we got another contract on our house, which was a higher offer and a backup offer. So we knew we were coming, and also I'm getting lost. I can't read my own notes. So the offer that we got on our house, the offering part of it was enough to purchase the shoes. So Jade and I got to go, and we ended up purchasing 160 pairs of shoes that we were able to get to Buckner. But through that, we realized that not only do those shoes go overseas, which is where you usually see the videos, they're going internationally, they stay locally at the Buckners. So there was a Buckner in Lubbock, and there's a Buckner in Beaumont, which is who we're affiliated with. So we moved down here. I got a Facebook message from one of Shane's friend's wives that is a pre-K teacher in Lubbock. And a little boy had come to school the first day back to school after the holidays. And this was the message she sent me. "Running in this morning with a huge smile on his face, one of my students from Buckner couldn't wait to show me and tell me about his new shoes. I wish I could send you a picture of his face. It is all smiles, but he proudly closed while I took a picture of his shoes. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this baby's Christmas break with a new pair of shoes." We got it. It's internationally and it's locally. I asked Destiny if I could share her story this morning, and she let me, so she's pretty brave. When she came to Buckner, she also didn't have any shoes, and she was able to get new shoes when she got there. So you guys keep giving. We're not all called to do the same thing. I know not all of you are going to foster, but God, these shoes truly help kids that don't have any shoes, or don't have clean shoes, or don't have shoes that fit. So we're all called to do something, but we're not all called to do the same thing. That's my story.
Amen.
All right, so stand and we'll be dismissed with the family of God.